Hi everyone, you're very welcome to join me. I hope you're all keeping well. Here's a nice little emerger pattern that I want to tie today for you. Really good little pattern. Not a little CDC fly. Really good on the river. A little dry fly, little emerger, sits low in the water, but really good. Okay, so to begin, I have the Haku 611 curved shrimp buzzer hook. It's a size 16. You can tie these kind of flies in any size, so size 12s, 14s, they all work. Okay, I'm tying this in a size 16 just for demonstration purpose now, but I do generally fish them in size 16s and 18s. You know, they don't represent any particular fly. So that's the beauty about it. What makes it so effective is that they actually represent a vast array of different insects emerging or hatching. So it's good all round fly to have. So I'm going to tie this with using Kevlar silk. So again, Biscari flies on brand. So usual, we'll just lay down a little bit of cover onto the hook. And I'll just trim away that waste. And just come right down just above where the hook sits in the vise, and we will now tie in our rib. So this rib I am using, so I just get it out here for you. I have an offcut on my desk here, but I'm using a flat rib, a flat wire. This one is from it's Savoy, so it is. It's a flat medium wire, and I like the flat wires for a lot of the flies I tie, because they sit on the dubbin. They don't get lost into it like a round wire tends to sometimes, and it gives you a better effect. So we're going to just tie in how, like I said, I had a little bit on me desk here. I'm just tying a few of these. So we're just going to tie that in just before we tie the dubbin in, and I'm tying it in on my side of the hook, and I'm just going to secure that in. Okay, I'm just going to pull that out of the way and just keep that back just out of the way for now. Now I'm going to create the body. And the body I'm using is it's a blend of, it's hare's ear basically, it's hare's dubbin. It's a blend I've created myself, and there's really all I've done basically is I've taken a hare's mask and shaved it, completely shaved it. All the down, the inner fur, the soft fur, the guard hairs, taking it off all sides of the hare's mask, and I've put it in a coffee grinder, and I've given it a couple of small wazzles. Don't blend the absolute crap out of it, or it'll be jazzed over now, but a couple of small wazzles, and it gives you that one blend, and you can see the guard hairs in that. Like it's really spiky. It's nice, and a lot of my flies, whether it's nymphs, dry flies, they're all mainly tied using this stuff. So really good dubbin. But like I said, give it a go. If you're getting into making your own dubbin, you really should be. So just tying it on, or just dubbing this onto the thread in small amounts. You can see there. So I'm going to create that tapered body. So always make sure when you're tying bodies, always make sure they're tapered. Okay, especially on these flies. Just want to come there and just secure that in a bit better. Okay. And again, a little bit more. You can put on a tiny bit thicker now as we come up the body. Okay. And I'm going to put a smidgen more on, just a tiny bit now, because you need to leave this area here. So I'm going to leave this part here now free for the next stage. So we take our wire and we begin to wind that nice and evenly up the body. You can see the way it just sits on the dubbin. Really nice, really lovely. So just coming up that fly, nice even turns if you can. Looks good. Don't worry about the amount of wraps you get in this. We're going to hide this part of it anyway, so okay, and we will trim out the waste. So little hint, little tip for you is when you're tying, if you don't like to break off the wire, what I like to do is have separate scissors for cutting wires. So I'm not using my good scissors, because scissors are quite expensive, so I like to have a separate scissor for cutting wires. Little tip, you know, each to their own, but that's what I like. So now, just before I tie in the wing here now, it's going to be a CDC wing. Like I said, it's going to hide this part here, so you won't see any of that. I'm going to give it a quick brush out and get some of that spiky hair out. Just like that. Okay. Now we're going to tie in our wing, and I'm using CDC. Using this kind of CDC, it's really good CDC actually. It's really good quality. This particular CDC is coming from Premier Angling Supplies. I've come across this CDC just recently. I'm always on the watch out for CDC and good quality CDC, because like I'm always saying, I tie a lot. I tie an awful lot of CDC flies, and I have CDC here by the tub loads. I'll do a video on quality CDC in the coming days, but I literally do have 3 tubs of CDC here, different quality, different brand, different colour. I've got bags of CDC, but good quality CDC is hard to find, and that stuff there from Premier Angling Supplies, Pat Nolan, is it's the closest to actual wild CDC that I've ever seen, and it's the closest you will get. Now I've got 3, I'm too busy talking now and I'm not watching what I'm doing. I've got 3 CDC feathers, and what I'm doing is I'm just stacking them on top of each other. But you, as I'm recording here, they don't want to obligingly stack on top of each other, which is typical, because if I wasn't recording, these would sit nicely on top of each other. So it's always the way when you press record on the camera, nothing wants to go your way. So just no. Okay, so I've got 3 CDC feathers, they're sitting on top of each other, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tie these in. So I'm tying these in curved side up, okay, like this. Okay, so a little bit of a tip first. You want to measure the length of the wing, or the wing case. So what I like to do is, once you've got it, I like to tie it, I like to just have it curved side facing. If you can just turn it up the other way, and what I like to do is just measure it, okay, and you're just looking for it to protrude a little bit past the body of the fly, like that. Okay, so once you have that waist there, or once you have the length there, that gives you the length, you can tie it in curved side facing up, okay, like that there. So just mark that, and then feathers have to come undone me. Sorry, just once you have that length, so that's coming undone me now. I just need to measure it again there. Sorry. So just you want it to come a little bit past the hook where it starts to bend. So once you have that there, you're going to tie it in basically curved side facing up. Okay, so I have that length. So you're tying it like this here, curved side facing up, okay? And you're going to tie it in, just holding it like that, pinch and loop, okay? Now you can measure it up and pull it back, no problem. But get a couple of wraps in there first to make sure it's sitting in nicely. And then what you can do then is you can pull it back. Just pull what I do is just pull the stalks out of the way, and then just bend it back, and that'll give you an overall length. And you can see they're sitting nicely there now. So I can trim away this here. So I'm just going to get a couple more wraps in. Just want to make sure it's nicely secured. It's not going anywhere. And I want to also make sure it's sitting properly on top of the fly. It's important that you get the CDC feather sitting properly on top of the fly, directly on top of the fly. Otherwise, when you go to pull this back, the wing case back, it's not going to sit properly, and it's going to probably sit to one side. So once we have that and you're happy with that, then you can take your scissors and you can trim away that waste, just like that there. Okay. Keep this waste. Okay, this waste is really good for making other flies and making CDC dubbing and stuff like that. So never throw away your waste CDC. Now, what I'm going to do is, you can see now when I pull it back that it's actually sitting nicely. Okay. Now, just before I do tie that back in, I'm going to tie in my Thorax, and I want to make a bulky Thorax. So for this particular stuff, I'm using UV Fox Squirrel, and again, this particular brand is from Biscari Fly. Buy a lot of my materials from Biscari Fly, actually. The guys are good down there. So when you want to get your thread loose or long enough just to tie on a dubbin, just hold, again, just pinch up here, because when the CDC is tied in like that, it can turn on the hook. I want to take a pinch. You can see this stuff has a nice little pearl flash to it, lovely, and this makes a really nice, gives a really nice effect. And plus, like the guard here on the like the guard here on the hare's ear, it's spiky. So again, it's good dubbing to use. Now I'm going to, just working from the eye, I'm going to tie back. Okay. I'm just not tying on much. I just want to tie in. Just keep it small amounts. Always less is always more when you're tying in dubbing, and always just, if you're not sure, just tie in small amounts and you can work it back then. But you want to build up this thorax here, because it's going to get the CDC to sit nice and kind of create a kind of a bulky little kind of a head, if you get me, or it'll create a bulky thorax cover kind of over. Okay, so once you have it like that, now we're going to grab our CDC and we're going to just come over and just bring your thread, before you do, just bring your thread back to the tie-in point, because the tie-in point is here, just where you've created the end of that thorax cover. Okay, so now we're just going to bend our CDC, and I'm going to get one turn, just one kind of lightly turn, and now I just want to have a look. Okay, so I'm not happy how that's sitting there, so I'm just going to unwind. I'm just going to flick the device sideways for a minute, and we're going to go again. That's sitting better. Okay, and you'll end up with something like that there then. Okay, so that's why I was saying it's very important to get the CDC to sit properly, and when you put in the back, it does have a tendency not to sit straight, like, and you want it to have it sitting somewhat straight on it. As you can see there, it's kind of it's equal on both sides. Okay, now what we'll do then is, when you're happy with that, just get a couple of wraps just there. Okay, and what I like to do is just a little black marker, is I just like to hide that white silk. So we'll just come in there, just like that, and now we can whip finish there. Hold her tight, trim away, and there you have it. And that's a cracking little, it's a great little little emerger. We'll trim up around the eye of the hook. Just trim away that CDC that's protruding out there. That's fine. But like I said, that's a great little emerger there, so it is. You can see all the spiky guard here, just gives the impression of legs and stuff. Really nice. So it is, really nice. And you can see the sparkle from the UV fox squirrel. Just gives that lovely little effect to the fly. And that's a great little dry fly to use, great little emerger pattern. And the best thing about the curved hook is the curved hook will sit down, the body will sit down in the water, and the CDC will float. So it's only going to be this part that you see, the CDC sitting back, going to be floating, where the rest is sitting down in the water. Okay, and that's what makes it so effective. But like I said, it's a great little pattern. So guys, it's one to have in the box, and certainly give it a go. Okay, now I hope you enjoyed watching this. It's I'd like to thank you for your time for watching this. Give it a go, like I said, and certainly stock them up in your box. Thanks for watching, guys, and all the best.